Aw. All right, let's find a little posture here for some pranayama, opening pranayama. I'm gonna go take my seat back on my mat there. And you can have a block today. Actually, and a strap. Sorry about that, but I think a block and a strap will serve us what we're going to work on. Last week we were talking about this concept. My teacher always called it muscle energy, but it's the idea that your muscles need to tone to help deepen the stretch, help stabilize your body during the stretch. They focus that a lot around the legs. We'll continue that concept, maybe even apply it to the arms and shoulders a little bit. But muscle energy as a bigger concept is also about drawing into ourselves. Like it's a moment to retreat, actually, to feel steady in ourselves, to build energy, like almost like gather the forces. It's not just about like the physical retreat in. It's like if you've been doing too much in your day, you come home and you need to just like chill on your couch. Like that's muscle energy. Sleeping at night, you kind of curl up a little bit. That's muscle energy turning in. And when we practice, we don't just draw in, we also stretch back out to create that balance for ourselves. And finding that balance is what practice is all about, depending on what you need. So we'll apply this to our breathing. You sit up, find a spine, a posture that suits you. Breathe in and out. Actually, when you pull breath in, you're using muscles to pull breath in. Sometimes we're releasing the muscles to send the breath out. If you really empty your breath, you actually use muscles to help push the breath out too. And just notice that pulse, drawing in, expanding out, each breath. Breathing, give yourself a little gentle twist to one direction. Let's give it another twist to the other direction. Back to center. Your head grow heavy. Just gonna let your forehead rest forward for a second and roll the skull over to one side. Roll the skull over to the other side. Sort of warming up here, just getting a little bit of body awareness as before we start focusing on any details. Just building some body awareness. This is a turning in, muscle energy, drawing in into our body, into our present moments. Roll back to center. Put your hands on your knees, gently pull the spine and ribs forward. And then push the knees away, sink the ribs back. Exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Just drop from the neutral, drop our head over to the left again. Roll the head all the way around, tilt it to the right. Roll it back through center. Let's take our right arm out to the right and kind of just stretch that left arm up and over. That side body. A big old wave with that top arm. Come back up. Let's go the other direction. Big old wave with that right arm this time. That's opening upper body warm up. Let's rock forward, come to tabletop pose. We'll warm up in the legs before we start to get a little more detail, a little more conscious of the movement. Tabletop, I'm just gonna go ahead and stretch back through your left heel, so straighten that left knee, push through the ball of the foot, push through the heel, go ahead, turn the foot, so the heel is down, you're on the outer edge of your foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. Let's step it forward and step back through the right foot, pushing through the back heel. Yeah, that's good. Turn the heel in and down and push back again. Muscle energy in our core, you're going to pull the left knee forward and then place it back down. Pull the right knee forward. Place it back down. Let's do back and forth. Using your core muscles to engage. Warming up the hip flexors. More times each side, just drawing that knee up and in, and that squeeze. Good. Return to tabletop, and I think my teacher used to call these like shoulder flossing or shoulder scrubs. You're gonna keep your arms straight, and you're gonna try to move your rib cage up and down, so you feel the shoulder blades expand away from each other and draw in towards each other when you sink your ribs. This is kind of very passive. You're just sort of looking at the passive range of motion in your shoulders. You could add tone. Now melt down and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Even think about the bottom tips of your shoulder blades squeezing together. Keep that and just breathe here. Stretch your hips back a little bit. Stability from squeezing at the shoulders, and you pull the hips away, and then you can reach your crown away, lengthening the back of your neck. Good. Just slowly lower down, come onto your belly here. Prone. Place the elbows under your shoulders so the forearms are like the number 11. And here's the passive, right? You're just kind of sinking into the bones. And if you sink, you'll find that maybe your shoulders kind of lift up, your chest kind of collapses. You put a little bit of muscle energy in, you push your elbows down and lift up through your chest. Keeping that lift, press your elbows down, but also drag them back. When you try to enter, they don't move. You just think about dragging them back. This will tone the tricep and the rhomboids, the middle of the shoulder blades. By pressing down and dragging back. Nothing actually really moves, but you internally feel quite a bit of movement. That's this toning and drawing in towards our center. More deep breaths like this. And you'll notice that there's an equal reaction here. As you draw in there, your chest and your gaze might go a little more forward and out. Good. Relax it for a moment. Go back to that collapsing, like no effort version where your head just hangs. Let's try Sphinx pose again. Press your elbows down, energetically drag them back until you feel that engagement in the mid-upper back. Once you feel that engagement, you can stretch off of and stretch away from that toning. So that muscle energy creates a stable sensation in your body, and then your other muscles can safely stretch away from it. So there's a drawing in and then a stretching away to create balance. These things are really happening in tandem, even though I'm sort of saying them at different times. They work together. Good. Stretch your hands a little further out so you can lift your elbows so your arms are straight. It's like a long cobra. Yes, exactly. We'll try the same thing. It's a little more challenging here. You're going to push your hands down. And rather than sort of feel them sliding away from you, try to pull them back. Almost like you're trying to pull your arm bones into your shoulders. And as you pull your arm bones into your shoulders, you can push. You can push with your feet. Push your chest forward. Lift your chin up. Yeah, really nice. Exhale. Let's lower down and rest. We're still just warming up here, so you can just take a nice little chill break. As you rest your hand, your cheek on your hand, you can just rock your legs side to side, hip joints in place. Good. Let's keep exploring here. You're going to place your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, push up and back to tabletop. And just keep going. You kind of sit your hips back into a big wide child's pose here. Wide knees, wide feet. Inhale, come up. You're going to walk your hands over to your right. You can shut blocks and go ahead and use them. You're going to step your left foot forward and just take a few breaths, pushing into that front knee while pressing down through the back knee. You just push into the front knee and then sink back. So you're stretching the upper leg muscles here. One more time, pushing into that lunge stretch. And let's step it back. Let's try the other side, warming up the legs. The right foot forward and stretch away from the back knee and into the front. Back off of enough. If you back off that front knee enough, you'll get a little hamstring stretch in the front leg. Looks good. Back to neutral. Walk your hands back and keep your toes tucked. So the pads of the toes are tucked under you. And push your knees and your feet into the mat. And sit your butt back just a little bit. So your chest is starting to arc ever so slightly up and open. You're going to bring your arms up in a field goal pose. Look up. And this, you're going to squeeze back on those rhomboids, on the space between your shoulder blades. Breathe here. Broadening your collarbones. That's all squeezing in energy. If you keep that squeezing energy and now stretch your arms out, you should get a nice opening across your chest. As long as you don't let go of that squeezing between the shoulder blades. Good, relax it down. Nice opening, good opening there. Place the hands on blocks or on the mat. Let's do our first downward facing dog. We'll be here a couple breaths. So Billy, you can go to standing if you want. We'll start with just walking it out, kind of warming up the muscles, breathing smooth. Pushing through each heel as you bend the opposite knee. Neutralize yourself. Press down through the hands. As you press down through the hands, try to squeeze the arms and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Keep that tone, and now pull your hips away from that tone. You're stretching away from where you're drawing in from. These are those two forces working in balance. My teacher called that the drawing in energy. We talked about it, muscle energy, but he called that drawing away from or stretching away from energy, organic energy. Reach away. Go ahead and walk your feet to the front of your yoga mat, forward bend. Make sure to shift your weight into the feet fully first before rising up to standing. Inhale, arms up high in the air. And exhale, hands down to your heart. Open the arms like field goal posts and stretch open across the collarbones. Exhale, bend your knees, squeeze your muscles towards your bones, and sit down and back into a chair posture. Good. Bring the arms out like wings. Breathe here. Warming up the legs. Good. Exhale, bow forward. Look forward and step your right leg back into a lunge. Press down through your feet. Try to squeeze your feet towards each other, firing the legs. And then change your legs. Press down through your feet. And then squeeze them towards each other. And then step forward into the forward fold. Shift your weight back. Inhale, come all the way up. Look up. Let's go up on tippy toe for a moment. You can balance, give it a shot. And exhale, arms down by your sides. Keep warming up. Let's take our left hand over our skull and bring our head over to the left. And just draw yourself a circle with your right fingers. Reverse that circle. Keep reaching away with that arm. Let's go to the other side. Draw yourself a circle. Reverse that circle. Inhale back to center. Pull the arms back so the backs of your arms tone. Bend your knees. Keep pulling back like you're a downhill skier or a skydiver. I don't know. I don't really do either of those activities, but something feels similar. Good. Pressing down through your thighs, kind of energetically squeeze the legs together without letting them collapse, right? Let the muscle become stable in our core. Nice and slow, swoop your arms forward and up. Use your upper back muscles, lean back into it. Exhale, bow forward, hands on the blocks or the floor. Inhale, stretching forward with the crown, and plant your right foot back behind you in a lunge. Press your feet down, hug them together. Some of us may actually plant our whole foot flat into a warrior one. We keep the heel lifted for lunge, and then lift up. Hands on our hips today. Hands on our hips today. So you squeeze the legs towards each other. You squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. We've drawn in. Now we keep that feeling of drawing in, that hugging of energy, and you're going to stretch your arms up and kind of push out through your legs at the same time. So you draw in and you stretch out in perfect balance for your energy level. Breathe. Makes the class very sustainable. Yoga that you can really embody, stay present for. Let's place our hands down and step forward. And slowly change sides with the left leg back. Okay, we can do the high lunge with the heel lifted or the heel down for warrior one. Press down and kind of hug the legs in towards each other and in towards the midline. So we can rise up to balancing from there. Hands on our hips. We got to do the same thing with our shoulders. Pull the shoulder blades in and onto your back. And we're drawn in. We're building heat. We're gathering our reserves, our energy, and now we stretch up and back. Don't lose that squeezing in them. You keep it as you stretch out. This should give you the freedom, stable freedom to really open up with those other muscle groups. Looks great, everyone. Good. Hands down the block. Let's go back to a downward facing dog for ourselves. Any version that suits you. And focus on your feet, pressing down and back through your feet. Focus on your hands, pressing down and squeezing in with the arms and shoulders. And like lengthen your spine. Inhale, slide it forward into a high push-up or a high plank pose. Even though you're pushing down and pushing the ground away, try to hug those upper back muscles in towards each other, keeping that strong tone in the upper back. Breathe here. Exhale, push back into your downward facing dog. And then walk it forward to forward fold. Shift the weight over your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Hands to your heart. Really good. Let's do a couple exercises to warm up and understand this upper back toning again. So you're going to find your first block and you're going to squeeze it like this. You're going to hold the block. We've done this one before. Just to go over it again like this. Okay. You're going to reach out with the block and push. Push. Make sure it's the same height as your shoulder. Push the block like you're trying to crush it. This is the tone. The inner arm should tone when you do this. Inner muscles tone. And when you keep squeezing in, now what you're going to do is you're going to pull the block towards you without bending your elbows. And so you should feel the shoulder blades move back onto your back. Yeah. And you keep that as you stretch up and away. That muscular stabilizing drawing in creates a backdrop for you to open the mobility. And even though we're just lifting a block, a foam block at that, over our head, there's actually quite a bit of dynamic work happening here in your body. Without losing that tone, bring the block back down. Whew, and relax. Not easy. Not easy by any means. You're going to do a similar exercise. You're going to go find a wall and you're going to place your left hand against that wall. Straight out from your shoulder. And as you push on that wall, lean without bending your elbow. It's a really important step. Without bending your elbow, lean into the wall so you feel the shoulder blade move on the back. So you can even lift the right arm up into I do solemnly swear arms. Yeah, exactly. Yep, up in the air, cactus arm. And squeeze those shoulder blades. Now keep that squeezing and turn your chest away from the wall. Breathe here like you're opening up that pec muscle quite a bit. Only works if you're creating that tone on the back. You can even press on the wall and try and push the wall that way, like out of the pose, and you'll get a little more stability across the pec to stretch even deeper. Good. Come out of that shape. Let's try the other side. The other palm will go against the wall. And you bring your body closer to the wall so that shoulder blade moves. And when you're pressing on the wall, you try to move the wall towards the thumb side, towards the front body. I mean, it's like I was trying to open my sliding glass door here. Other arm comes up and tones, and now we twist away from that stabilization that you've made. and release it. Excellent, excellent. Back to our mats. Inhale, stretch up high into the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step your right leg back. Plant that foot down. Inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Work those actions. Shoulder blades squeeze in, but you think that your arms are actually pushing forward. Yeah, and now open out, stretch out with the arms. Good, big swooping motion. Come back down, change your legs, and swoop up again. Shoulders squeeze in, arms push forward, and now we open outward. Hands down, step back. Inhale, top of a push-up. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto each other. Come down to your knees, and then do a push-up. Do a push-up. Good. If you're using blocks, remove them. Just put your right hand down and melt. Actually, put both hands down and melt your shoulder blade like we worked on. Squeeze the hands towards each other so your muscles fire. Keep that sensation. You can turn your toes out to the right and open your left arm to the sky. It's the same feeling you had at the wall. You're trying to push the mat over to your left. But it can't, it won't move. You just think that way. That stabilizes your shoulder and allows you to open up in the pose. Let's come back to kneeling push-up looking shape. Engage your arms, push down, and then open the other side. Keep that bottom arm active as you express and open. Good, back down and sit back and rest. Inhale, come forward, downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward and plant your feet down before rising up, mountain pose. Exhale, arms down. Continuing the journey. Find yourself a strap. Make a loop with the strap. Hopefully there's a buckle on your strap of some kind. If not, you can just kind of like tie a knot. You want the strap to be big enough that when you put your arms, your wrists in it, the loop, the distance is shoulders distance apart. You see how my hands are just about shoulders distance apart, maybe a little wider, that's okay. So I can press out on that strap and it's not gonna go wider than my shoulders. Don't make handcuffs. I want to have some space. Okay, and you're gonna hold your arms up shoulder height, elbows straight like we've worked on. Yeah, good. And you press out against that strap. This tones a different set of muscle groups, but it's still creating a toning sensation. Keep that and lift while pressing against the strap. Right, so it's the opposite of the squeezing that we were doing. You're still working this toning quality and then stretching off of it. Drawing in and expanding out. Really good. Good. Come back down nice and steady. Keep the engagement and then release. Just to add to this experience, you're going to get that block now. You're going to place it between your inner thighs. Separate your feet enough so that you can give a nice squeeze with your inner thighs. on that block. That squeezing in tones the muscles. Even draw your kneecaps in a little bit so you feel the muscles in the front of your legs. Now slowly push out against the strap and let's lift up. Good. You should really maybe extend a little further because of the muscular tone in your legs. How interesting. Next level, keep squeezing the block, but bend your knees and kind of sit down into a chair pose. Really nice. Breathing here. Lift up and back through your chest. Elongate the back of your neck. Just keep the knees bent though. Knees bent, still in chair. Hips back a little bit. Stay with it, friends. Keep engaging. Keep stretching away from where you've drawn in. Let the pose keep opening up. And then inhale out of the posture. Good. Release the strap, release the block. Just take a moment to be in mountain pose. Body might glow or hum a little bit. Some of you might levitate an inch or two after that. Just notice that the joints feel pretty open, pretty relaxed. Really good for our circulation to create that sustained tone and stretch. It's the blood flowing to the deep parts of the joints there. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, extend forward. Exhale, right foot back. A little different today. You're going to take your left hand and bring it in closer to your left foot. Walk your back foot back further. Turn your body open and stretch the top arm above your head a little bit. Side angle pose. Yeah, so out in front with that top arm. Yeah, send your top hand, Kathy, like out to the front of the room. There you go. Yeah, side angle. Now imagine that your top hand was pushing on a tabletop ledge. Push down with that hand on an imaginary tabletop ledge. And look up over your bicep. Breathe. Keep extending, stretching against that strong top arm. Good. Hand down. Step back or step forward. We're going to just transition here, nice and easy. Other foot in front. Back heel down. This is the right foot's forward. Now you're going to put that block or something near your front foot. You're going to glide the left arm just up so your bicep is just above your head. Now push down. So put the arm out in front, Kathy. Yeah, there you go. Push down on that tabletop ledge. Pushing down on that tabletop ledge, you're going to stretch. Keep pressing down on that imaginary surface. And stretch your gaze up. Past the bicep. Breathe. Good. And we step back to our downward facing dog pose. Kneeling plank pose. And then lower down into the mat. Point the toes behind you. Spread your palms nice and big. Spread your fingers nice and big, nice and wide. And then grab the mat. Grip it with your finger pads. As you do that, peel your chest up. Squeeze the muscles into the upper back. And breathe. Keep squeezing the muscles into the upper back. Lift the back of your neck out of that space.
Keep squeezing the elbows towards the ribs and push the arms straight. Right? All the cues have to happen together. We just have to think about them one at a time. And relax back down to the earth. You can turn and rest on a cheek and shake your legs side to side. Push up and back to tabletop. Let's try it again with the hands down. Melt your upper back. Squeeze the muscles there so your shoulders draw away from the ear. Listen carefully. You're going to extend your right leg back. And you're going to step your left foot halfway forward on your mat. Halfway forward. And you can get on the outer edge of your right foot. Now look down at your bottom hand, the right hand, and start to bring your body, bring your shoulder over the hand. Don't hurt your wrist. If you're engaging your hand, it should be fun. And breathe here. Squeeze that hand towards the foot, toning the right side of your body. And now lift up away from that hand with your torso. Good, come down, relax out of the pose. So just quickly, I'm going to stand up to show. So imagine the floor is over here. I'm pushing against the wall, and I'm thinking that I'm actually trying to do this. My hand won't move, but I'm thinking I'm pushing on the ground, and I'm trying to drag it down. So what that does, it tones all the muscles on the underside, the part of my body that's on the ground. So down on the earth and toward the foot. Let's try on the other side. We're in tabletop, a long tabletop. Melt your ribs, squeeze your shoulders. Looks good so far. Push back through the left foot. You're going to step the right foot halfway forward. Your right hand go on your hip. What you're going to do is you're going to try to bring your shoulder over your hand and then try to pull your hand. It's really hard to do. Pull your hand towards your foot. You got a lot of weight bearing. But as you do that, you tone that whole left side of your body from that hand action, and you can stretch away from it. Reaching your ribs up. Looks good. And release. Sit back and come up to kneeling pose. Let's try that action without so much weight bearing. Reach your hands out like they're imaginary walls. And you're pushing against those imaginary walls. And you try to pull down on those imaginary walls. Energetically, it's like heavy. It's really hard to do. It only maybe moves a couple inches. Notice what happens to your core as you tone the sides. It lifts up, right? Your center gets bigger because the muscular stability creates that tone. Awesome. Relax. Step forward and step up. Let's try that one more time on the wall so you can feel it one side only. Push against the wall with one hand. And you try to drag the wall down with just that one side. Squeeze your legs together. If you can't squeeze your legs together, put a block between them and squeeze the block. As you try to pull the wall down, bow bow your ribs into the middle of the room. Good. Keep breathing here. And come out of that shape. Let's do the other side. Hand against the wall. Try to pull the wall down. Feel how it tones that whole right side, whatever side you're on. As you squeeze the legs together, you can sort of bow your ribs into the middle of the room. That side plank. It's more challenging when you have a different relationship to gravity. Essentially what you're doing in that pose. Good. Thank the wall for its wisdom. Come back to your mat. Inhale, stretch up nice and tall. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, look forward. Step the right leg back. Plant your feet. And squeeze your legs together. From here, start to straighten your front knee. You don't have to get all the way there. Just work towards that stability. Squeezing the legs towards each other. Then with the legs squeezing towards each other, now push down through the leg bones. If you've got blocks, come up on the fingertips of those blocks. If you don't have blocks, you just hold your kneecap, knee area. Your spine's nice and strong, flat back pose. Now open your arms out like bird wings and squeeze your upper back muscles. Looks good. Keep it, hold it, breathe. Stay with me, folks. As you squeeze the upper back muscles together, open your palms a little farther apart, wings. Stretch the crown to the front of the room. Open the back of the neck that way. And release the energy down. Good. Forward fold. Just hang out a second. Gather your energy. It's another kind of drawing in, right? Just resting. Gathering our energy for the second side. Okay, left leg back. Engage the feet. Squeeze those legs towards each other. And when you're ready, start to extend your front leg some. Keep the squeezing, even as you're reaching out. Looks good, excellent work. Stay with me now. Come up on the fingertips of the blocks or up to the knees so you have enough space to create a flat back. Once that flat back is nice and strong and stable, open up your wings and hug in your shoulder blades. Stretch out your wings and hug in your shoulder blades at the same time. Stretch your crown forward, don't look forward, look down. That's how you get the back of the neck open. Keep breathing, we're going to sustain this pose. All that energy, all that focus fuels the opening. And release. Let's go to downward dog or some kind of neutral shape for yourself. Right from downward dog, just kind of swoop your hips forward and down into an upward dog. You do that at the wall, Billy. Let's go all the way back, downward dog. We go back and forth 2 more times, down dog to up dog. Keep your arms and your legs squeezing in towards each other, squeezing into the shoulders, and then pushing back out, pushing on the floor. So you have the muscle and the organic energy, and your spine becomes this dynamic mobile strength in between the two. Squeezing in with the arms and legs and then pushing out on the earth. Back and forth, up dog, down dog. 2 more times. Sustain the effort. And then walk it into a forward bend. Good job. Good. Let's just take a moment to be in our mountain pose. If the muscle energy is working, it's drawing in, feeling, our core should feel open and spacious. It should never feel like we've squeezed in so much we've collapsed on ourselves. It does the opposite. The more you squeeze in, the more you can open up that inner body. My teacher called it inner body bright. The inner body gets bright from the hugging in. Let's put this into our balancing segment. So if you need a wall for balancing or a chair back, please go find that now. And we'll really focus on the balancing today. So you just maybe use the chair or the wall with one finger. Not a lot of body weight is what I'm trying to say. The body weight should be over your foot, and the hand that's using the wall is just there for awareness. And first we're going to make our inner body bright. We've hugged in our muscles like in mountain pose. We're creating this inner, open, and luminous quality. Keep squeezing the right leg. And you bring up the left leg. Bend the knee for now. Let's just hold this for a few breaths. Working on staying bright. We're not collapsing, right? Balancing pose is easy to draw in. It's easy to almost cower. When you start to wobble, we worry about losing our balance. But you keep that inner body pushing out against that hug that we're doing to ourselves. Our gaze is into an open vista. We change leg. Let's put the left leg down. Still hug in everything. And you push the inner body out against that as you lift up the other knee. Just floating the leg for now. Evolve it. We're really just working on our ability to balance. I don't want to get overly caught up in the lifted leg. Really about the standing leg. That leg down, good. Bend your knees nice and deep. And come back up. Let's shift over into the right leg again. This time, tree posture. Tuck the foot against the thigh or the calf. That's all you need. Don't worry about it. And we hug in again. You can put the hands on the knee and the thigh and just kind of push against the knee and thigh with your fingers. That's that hugging in. And you make your inner body bright. You squeeze the legs, the foot and the leg against each other. That's the inner body bright. No, that's right, that's the muscle energy. You push the inner body out against it. Maintain it in your focus as you breathe. Change legs. Try to keep that little bit of tone throughout. We don't just bail on our yogic state of mind. We try to keep it for the whole class. A bit of energetic tone, our whole class, the focus. Press the fingers against the knee and the thigh, toning the inner arm and the side body. Press the foot and the leg against each other. That's the muscle energy. Now we brighten and push out with our inner body. against that. You need a level of effort where the drawing in and the pushing out, they're perfectly balanced. They support each other. It's not a tug of war. It's really more of a dance between the two to hold you present. And release. Good. You're not going to use the wall for balance. You can use the strap. You can hook the strap again. Hold the strap over your head. You might be able to kind of like be next to the wall actually, put one hand on the wall for support above your head. You can choose, okay? Push against that strap. What we're gonna do is you're gonna lift up your left leg, squeeze everything in, and then push, kick out through the heel. Just draw it back in, kick out through the heel again, draw in, last one, kick out, and release the effort. Good. Shift the weight. Bring the arms into a position that works for your body and squeeze it in. Squeeze the energy in. Shoulder blades, leg energy, back muscles, squeezing in. You're going to lift up the right knee, squeezing the muscles. And 3 times, nice and slow. Kick out and back. Out. Out. Last one. And release it. Awesome work. Drop that strap. Bow forward. Whew. Just hang here a moment. Feels good. Release the back. Deep breaths and forward fold. Step back for a pigeon pose. Let's do a pigeon pose with our left knee forward. Down to your forearms. Just start to let the practice go. The teacher said that these forces, this squeezing in, this pushing out, this wasn't some man-made idea. But we were actually aligning with nature, that nature is doing this pattern already. And we can kind of get away from that. So we're just trying to almost model it. And so even if we let go a little bit, the body is hugging in to create some stability. It's also then letting gravity kind of just like let us melt out. You can sort of feel these two forces at work, even though you're not intentionally working with them. Just mellow, explore this pigeon pose, sort of a passive variation of these two forces. Ready? Kind of come up a little bit. Let's change which leg is in front. Do the same thing. Look at this passive pigeon. passive exploration of these two forces, muscle and organic energy. There is a squeezing in and a stretching or spilling out. Just feel the body. Push yourself out of that pose. Once again, come to lying on your belly. Stretch across your right arm and reach back with your left hand. If you can't hold your foot with your hand, you've got that strap handy today. Make a smaller loop. Actually, the loop you have may be fine, but maybe make a smaller loop and hook the ankle with the strap, and then you can pull on it with your hand. Before we pull with our hand, though, we're actually going to push. You're going to push your right, nope, you're going to push your left knee down. You're going to push your left knee, that's the one you're holding on to. You're going to push that knee into the floor. And keep pressing it down. What this does is it tones the muscle that you're about to stretch. It's called the quadricep. And when you press down with the knee, you tone the quadricep muscle, and it allows for a safer stretch and usually a deeper stretch. You keep that downward pressure as you pull on the foot. Release that. And give the second side a shot. Same exact thing. The right knee will push down first to tone the muscle before you stretch it. Muscle and organic energy. Release the leg. Push back and swing the legs all the way to the front of your yoga mat. And take a seat. Let the head be heavy so the shoulders are just spilling away from the spine. Let's just be passive again. Few breaths, just the body will naturally hug in and stabilize where it needs to. You're almost letting gravity. If you let gravity do the practice, you'll stabilize where you need to, and you'll stretch out where you need to based on gravity. Inhale, come up, we're gonna lay back. Might want to use a block or two and put the block or two under your pelvis. Once your hips are up on the block or two, scoot your shoulder blades down your back toward the blocks. So you make the back of your neck a little bit longer, but notice I can still talk, right? I'm not collapsing the front of my throat in this shape. Just bring the shoulders down a little bit. And then once again, let gravity do the drawing in. Let the muscles stabilize that need to. Let the skeleton sort of stretch out and away. Gently push your hips up. Remove the props and slowly melt your spine into the mat. Breathe deep into your belly. Take the knees up in front of the feet and drop both the shins. Keep the shins together, drop them over to your right. Bring it back to center. Put the shins together. Go ahead and drop it over. Drop them over to the left. Breathe deep. Bring it back to center. Place your feet. Center yourself. Go ahead and stretch. Stretch your legs out long on your mat. We'll squeeze our legs together and squeeze our arms against our side body. You can scrunch your face a little bit. As you're squeezing, kind of push your feet away towards the one end of the room and reach your skull towards the other end of the room. It's a muscle and organic energy. It's a mountain pose that fell over. And then release the effort. Toes will drop open, palms will fall open. Relax everything. Try it again. Gently hug it all in while extending out. And then release all the effort. Breathe the whole time. Squeeze it in. And release it out. Keep resting here now. Let the practice go. Bring your attention back to your body and clench and extend your hands, your fists. Open and close your jaw. Extend your knee and then bend them up and into your body. When you're ready, press to a comfortable seat. Thanks for practicing tonight. Namaste.